Things are gonna get better now, but you're still a drunken slob. Things are gonna get better now. You wish you still lived with mom.
Won't you take me to Funky Town? Da-da-da. Won't you take me to a funky town? What in the fuck was that? Seriously. That commercial just played. Well, some commercial with that song. And it was stuck in my head. It's still the same show. As always, thank you for listening to Headbangers and Hooligans. Yours truly, Scummalicious. I kind of threw you for a loop there, and now you're like, what the? Holy shit. What did I just click on? Back to the music. Yeah, no little rant, but I'm sure I'll have something to bitch about. I know what you're saying. Yeah, what's fucking new? That's all you do is bitch and moan. You're worse than a fucking woman. So, I talked about the first 3 albums from Face to Face and how much I enjoy them, how much I've listened to them, how special they are to me. Very, very important albums to me. And the 4th album, Ignorance is Bliss. And I remember when I bought it. Okay. And I want to say I bought it at Target. Don't quote me on that, but I think I did. And I remember at the time buying it at Target. This is when people actually went to a store and bought albums. I know we don't do that anymore. We download everything. You know, Best Buy don't even fucking sell albums anymore. They actually had record stores, and you would actually go in and purchase the entire CD. Okay? But I remember buying it and thinking, wow, Face to Face at Target, this is really strange. Okay? This is when things were getting out of control, like, right around this time, Blink 182 and fucking Good Charlotte and all that other shit was just getting crazy, and they were playing that shit on MTV. This is right before, the All-American Rejects and all that shit. But I've said this before, I'd rather listen to the All-American Rejects than I would that fucking emo shit. Finch. Like a bad storm. Okay, not going there. But anyway. And I was like, wow, 3 or 4 years ago, would I bought a Face to Face album at fucking Target? So that said something to me right there. Like, there's going to be something different about this album. And it was completely different. Not real heavy. There were a few heavier tracks, but it was a lot of, different chord progressions that I wasn't used to from Face to Face. Just an entirely different recording. And Trevor Keith was talking about how they went into this album wanting to do something different. They put a lot of heart and soul into it, a lot of money, and he's like, and then fucking everybody hated it, which not everybody hated it, but a lot of hardcore Face to Face fans like myself didn't really care for it. I'm like, wow, this is really different. Like, it just, didn't have that oomph to it. Really deep, introspective songs. Like, Face to Face, and I mentioned this before on the other podcast about, a lot of self-reflection and lyrics talking about that. But this one was even a little deeper. There was a song there called God is a Man, And at the time, I just was thinking, wow, I don't really care for this album. Now, I did have some cool songs on there. In Harm's Way, second track was really good. And I like the song Prodigal. Matter of fact, I still really like that song. Really cool bass line. really different guitar pattern that Face to Face doesn't normally use, which, like I said, the entire record was that way. And now that I look back on it, I actually like it a little more than I did when I first heard it. It's grown on me as I've gotten older, and I really like the last track. He talks, shit, forgetting the title of the song. Nice job, Scummalicious. Good job researching. But he sings about, Trevor Keith sings about, I'm back to where I started from. I've lost this fight. You know, on to the next one. It's just it's a cool song about, just life in general, getting you down. But you got to get ready for the next fight because every day it's tough for us, especially us working class folks, right? We're not making all that fucking money running a big corporation. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna get into all that shit, but you get the point. So, ignorance is bliss. If you get a chance, it's on YouTube. Check it out, and when you listen to it, you'll be like, wow, this is really different. They kind of took a departure from the first three. Okay, so their next album, they went, the title was Reactionary. And it went more, it went back towards the first three, still not quite on that level. I was listening to it this morning. I like the first track, Disappointment, and the first 3 or 4 songs are pretty good. Then it just kind of, for me personally, just kind of falters off. The last track is pretty good, but you're just not getting that same feeling like you got with the first three. You're just not. And the one thing the one thing that has never changed for me is Trevor Keith's vocals. His vocals have always been really good. I've talked about that before. He's not nasally. He sings from the fucking gut. All right? You feel it. You feel the song. You feel the lyrics that he's singing to you, right? And the bass playing of Scott Shiflett, who replaced Matt Riddle, he actually replaced Matt Riddle on the third album. I mentioned that before. And that's one thing about Face to Face. Their bass playing, the little fills that they do, you can really hear that bass. It's all over the place. Doesn't always follow the rhythm guitar, which I love. And, the drums are solid on it. It's good production, but Reactionary, I would say it's a solid album, right? And then we get to 2002, How to Ruin Everything. And that album for me, I didn't care for it. I remember when it came out, I was excited when it first came out. And I heard a couple tracks off it. And I was like, it's okay. And come to find out, new drummer, Pete Parada, who is actually now the drummer for The Offspring, believe it or not. And quick little side note here, Pete Parada is one hell of a drummer. I did not realize that until I seen him drumming on their live DVD for Face to Face, Shoot the Moon, which is one of the songs off of How to Ruin Everything. Holy shit, that guy gets after it live. At least I thought so. I was really impressed with his drumming. So good for The Offspring. Not a huge Offspring fan, but I like Pete Parada. Anyway, so How to Ruin Everything. They were a 3-piece. Chad Yarrow, the other guitarist, had left, and when they were touring live, they were doing it as a 3-piece. Now, I don't know if Chad Yarrow recorded on that album or not. I'm not for sure, but I know, like most of that tour, that they were a 3-piece for the album How to Ruin Everything. And that came out in 2002 on Vagrant Records, I believe. Yeah, I'm getting a little nerdy on you. That's what I do. So, after that album, it was time to call it quits. Yep. It's like, okay, we're not feeling it, you know. And for me, I was kind of sad. Okay, I'm being totally honest here. I was kind of sad, but I was like, you know what? I'm still kind of okay with it because I'm not hearing the old face to face that I used to love. Right? I just wasn't. Um, uh, and like I said before, now going back, I do like Ignorance is Bliss. I do. I don't love it, but I like it. So they disbanded for about 9 years, almost a decade, and then in 2011 they came out. They came out with Laugh Now, Laugh Later, a good album. It's better. It's definitely better than How to Ruin Everything and Reactionary to me. It still wasn't on the same level as those first three. They're kind of in a place by themselves for me. You know, like okay, quit sucking cock. I mean, swallow already, right? Okay, but uh, I liked it. I thought, okay, you know, not bad for taking 9 years off, right? Kind of getting after it, not totally getting after it, but decent. Then a couple years later, they come out with the album Three Chords and a Half Truth, and not good. I did not like it. It's very late 70s, as in, sounds a lot like The Clash to me, like London Calling, a lot of the songs off there, which it's okay. I understand a lot of punk bands, like The Clash. I wasn't a huge Clash fan. I just wasn't, especially London Calling. I don't see the fascination with that album like a lot of people do. That's just my opinion. Okay, I'm not saying The Clash was horrible. They had some songs I liked, but I just didn't go crazy over them like a lot of people did. Um, but that album really disappointed me. I was like, fuck, it's over. Forget it. I mean, they ain't getting it back. I love, I was like, I still got those first three albums. I'll listen to them till I die, till I'm 90. I'm 83 right now, so it gives me about 7 years. Joke about my age, but anyway, I was like, that's what I got at this point, and it bothered me because I really like this band. I mean, I like the guys that, like I said, they seem like really cool guys, nice guys, and they're really cool in all their interviews. And I want them to succeed. I want them to have good albums, but I was just three chords and a half. I was just like, okay, it's over. Then, 2016, they come back on Fat Wreck. Yes, that record label that Fat Mike owns. Not going to talk about him right now. Protection. They were back. They were fucking back. I did the review of the album. Full circle. This was the closest that they had ever come to those first three. Not quite on the level of those three, but really fucking close. I felt it. I was like, oh my God, this is the fucking band that I fell in love with. The title track was awesome. Say What You Want, they made a video for that. Uh, um, See If I Care, just a fucking really good album. Sounded amazing. Scott Shiflett on bass. Danny Thompson, the drummer, sounded awesome. Dennis Hill on the other guitar. I was like, they are fucking back. They're showing all these fucking stupid bitch bands of today, fucking whiny ass punk bands and their stupid fucking songs, like Neck Deep. Neck Deep. Hey, that's a pop band. Give me a fucking break. I'm sorry if you're a Neck Deep fan. Bleh. But what a fucking great feeling. I was so excited. I'm like, they're back. The great bass lines and Scott Shiflett were there. Trevor Keith's vocals, perfect as always from the gut. Those great guitar parts, the harmonies, the vocal harmonies, the melodies of the songs that stick in your fucking head they were back. Holy shit. And then last year, they came out with Hold Fast, the acoustic album, and I didn't know what to think at first. I was like, okay, this is something that some bands do when they're getting up there in age like me that are on AARP or getting close to it, just I can't stop joking about my age thing. But it was really good. Ordinary. I loved the version of that. Disconnected. I loved the way they did that. And they sounded great. And especially when you do an acoustic album, the vocals are important. And like I said, you can't go wrong with Trevor Keith's vocals. Dude just fucking brings it every time. But that's what I was talking about, And he mentioned that in an interview that I saw last week, where he talked about, we kind of lost our way a little bit, experimenting with some stuff, and then we kind of just came back to where it began. And full circle they've came. I know I'm fucking happy about it. Just a great band, like 27 years, going on 3 decades. They had a little hiatus there, but they're strong. They survive. They keep doing it, and you got to respect that. Not like these little sissy bands, like I mentioned before today, that about make me sick every fucking time I hear them play. And it's nothing personal. I just don't care for a lot of these newer bands. They make my skin just boil with anger, hatred. And I get violent. I'm kidding. It doesn't get that crazy, but yeah, they suck anyway. But there you have it. So, but you can check out all those albums. They're all on YouTube. And you know what? You might listen to a couple of those and like them a lot more than I did. And just going back through them again this morning, I really have to say that 3 Chords and a Half Truth is probably their most disappointing album to me. Yeah. I really didn't care for that, and I really thought it was the end. So thank you, Face to Face, for fucking showing me oh, really, Scummalicious? You don't think we can make a fucking good album anymore? There's protection, bitch. What you got to say now? A lot to say. Sucking your ass. Shit all over my face. You came back. Nice job out of you guys. All right. You know how I do this. Take it easy. And if it's easy, take it twice. I'm out.